Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Richard. Today I'm starting a new series called Big Topics, and the point of this series is to give you more of a chance to practice your English, shadowing, improving your listening, your vocabulary. In case you don't know me, I help professionals to become fully fluent and bilingual and proud and confident to use English in their careers. But today I'm starting a new series that is a little more casual, and the idea is that, for all of the students we work with, we help them to engage with more advanced topics. Not always serious ones, but the kinds of topics that you can only talk about in your first language freely. That's part of how we help our students expand their fluency. And so this series, Big Topics, is just another chance for you to do that, both as you're going about your day or if you're actively working on your vocabulary, whatever you're doing to improve. And it's also a chance for you just to get to know me more and more of what I'm about and what I care about as well. And so we can have this direct conversation right here. And so we're going to jump in today to the first topic. I'm here with my daughter. She is crawling around the chair that my camera is mounted on, so you might hear her say hello. But today, the first topic is we're going to talk about mental health and my journey with esketamine treatment, which is a drug known as Spravato. So I have been dealing with mood disorder for most of my life. It's I was recently diagnosed with treatment-resistant major depressive disorder, and that treatment-resistant phrase is significant because I was only diagnosed that because I had tried so many other antidepressant treatments with previous psychiatric care, and they all failed. So because of that, my new psychiatrist diagnosed me with treatment-resistant major depressive disorder. I believe you have to have been on 2 or 3 or more antidepressants which have failed at normal doses for you to be eligible for that in the United States. I know my audience is all over the world. I'm not a doctor, mental health professional, or any of that, and so you'll have to check with your own local care what's available to you. But my hope is that if you need this, that you're able to access it. In the United States, this drug Spravato has been FDA approved since 2019, I believe. So it's fairly new, fairly recent. And I qualified for this because of my diagnosis. And so let me just briefly describe what my personal experience was like when I was facing this disorder without treatment, so that it will make more sense when you hear me describe what it was like to receive the treatment. Major depressive disorder is horrible. It is the level of, for me, in my experience, it was the level of the grief level of having lost your entire family suddenly. Dread and anxiety that made it impossible to breathe. I wasn't able to function. I stopped working almost. I went down drastically in my work, 75%. I was very unproductive at home as a father, not present because I was frozen in this awful condition. It got bad enough where I developed chronic suicidality, and that's when the alarm bells started to go off for my family and my friends, and we sought new psychiatric counsel. I got 2 new psychiatrists, a team, and they diagnosed me with this treatment-resistant piece, which qualified me for this drug Spravato. So I had lost hope. The day of my first treatment, told my psychiatrist that I was planning my exit if this didn't work. That's how bad it had gotten for me. And rightfully so. He said that's a lot of pressure to put on me and him. You got it. You're good. So first, before I describe the experience of the treatment, what is Spravato? Spravato is esketamine. It's the name of the chemical. It is my understanding, I could be wrong with my technical choice of words, but my understanding is that it's derived from ketamine, and it's like a molecule different from actual ketamine, and it works on different areas of the brain than antidepressants do traditionally. And so it's a psychedelic trip for 45% of people, and for 55% of people they don't experience anything. So you have to receive the treatment in the United States under supervision. So I go to a clinic at my psychiatrist's office and lie back in a chair, in a recliner, all the way flat, listen to music, sit by a window. I have a little private space in a room where sometimes there's one or two other people, but we have room dividers, so you have privacy, and there's a sound machine. And so my first day, I said to my psychiatrist that terrifying thing, and so then it's a nasal spray, so that's how I have it that's how I administer it. So before the session, my psychiatrist they take my vitals first. They take my blood pressure, and I fill out a questionnaire that's the same every time, and then I lie back and then I get the nasal spray from my psychiatrist, and I lie back and wait. And so the first session, I didn't know how I would react, if I would be part of the 55% who experienced nothing. And then you're just sitting there for 2 hours under supervision, chilling, listening to music or reading a book or whatever. Or 45% of people have a psychedelic trip, like they're on mushrooms or something. So I knew that statistic going into it, and as I'm sitting there right after I have sprayed this up my nose, under the observation of my psychiatrist, I said, so my understanding is that 45% of people trip and 55% of people don't. And he said, yep. So I sat there and waited, and about 10 minutes later, my body felt like it was warm, and I was like, okay, I think something is happening. I think I'm feeling something. And then my psychiatrist was like, good. So you can excuse me, here, yes, of course. My daughter needs more water. So you can, we need a refill. Be right back. So I began to feel my body kind of get warm and lift a little bit. And then, about 20 minutes later, I felt like I had detached from my body in space and time and went someplace else. There was nothing but love and beauty and peace and tranquility and freedom and joy, to an extent that is indescribable and impossible to put into words. So that was my experience of esketamine. Today I just want to talk about the effect that it's had on my overall well-being in my life. That's what's more important to me. And wow, it's very difficult to put into words. I feel better than I ever have in my entire life. It's a sentence I keep saying to people. I feel like every domain of my life is 90% easier. My marriage, parenting is a delight most of the time. My work, friendships, family, taking care of my house, my yard. I mean, life used to be so painful, and now it's just a delight and enjoyable. I feel physically like my head is totally clear. There's no brain fog. there's no mind chatter. My mind is silent, except for that train. That was the first thing I noticed. After the first session, my mind was just quiet. Normally there are a lot of voices, or music, or I have ADHD too. So this is what it used to sound like in my mind. But now it's totally quiet every day, all day. And even with lots of distractions, I can still maintain my focus, and it doesn't irritate me or frustrate me the way that it used to. It didn't ruin my day the way that it used to. So up until my first treatment, physically, my body felt like a wreck. It felt like constantly exhausted and fatigued and incredibly sore and stiff. I was limping around the house the night before my first treatment, I remember. Just an awful pain physically, not just mentally and emotionally. So I went into the first treatment feeling that, but immediately after the first treatment, my body felt like I had been on vacation for like 5 days straight and felt like I had been sleeping on the beach all day long. And my mind was totally quiet. So that was incredible, and that feeling persisted for 48, 72 hours. And the mental quiet remains to this day. So my body felt amazing. My mind was quiet. The first treatment felt like it had unseated my depression, or like, it's so hard to describe and explain. Like, my depression, I'll use an analogy. My depression kind of felt like an apartment building had collapsed on me, like in an earthquake, and I was under rubble. The first Spravato treatment felt like a rescue team had come in and like gotten the concrete off of my body like an inch and put up some supports, gave me a bottle of water, and were like, you're going to be out of here in 8 hours. Or, like, it's hard to put into words, but that's the analogy I use. And then the second treatment was like, it felt like depression became this irrelevant memory, like a girlfriend that had broken up with me in high school or something. It was just like, it's so hard to put into words, but it went in just like a matter of 7 days from feeling like total death to feeling like better than I've ever felt. And it has just continued to get better. I sleep through the night most nights. Which is new for me. I've had insomnia. I was diagnosed with insomnia when I was 28 or something. So yeah, sleep is amazing. I wake up early with energy most days. Yeah, it's just given me so much life and joy and freedom. So don't lose hope. If you were feeling the way I was, don't lose hope, because there are solutions. So this is going to be the first episode of my you see my daughter is wanting to hang with us, so I'm going to go hang out with her. But this is the first episode of Big Topics. There's going to be more to come. Something else you'd like me to talk about, put that in the comments, and I'd love to see what you have to say. And look out for more of these later in the future. Thanks for joining. Talk to you soon.